Welcome to my channel, guys. Maryam here. I am so excited for today's video. I'm doing a full, thorough, in-depth review of the new Game of Thrones x Urban Decay For the Throne makeup collection. I am such a huge fan of the show. I can't wait for it to be back. I am here for this collection that Urban Decay has put forth. Having said all that, Urban Decay is not immune to my criticism, so I will be doing a Team Truth style type of review with a verdict, with price points, with availability. You know how we do. But given the fact that I am very inspired by this, I am also going to create a look. So this is going to be a Khaleesi approved, Khaleesi inspired sort of look with a review, with a tutorial, and with a verdict, as I always do. So I hope you guys are living for this. I hope you're here for it as much as I am. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. Remember to hit that notification bell, subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And let's get into this Game of Thrones Urban Decay review and look. So now before we get to putting all this makeup on my face, let's talk about this collection. Here I have the vault, and it is a heavy one. I am excited. This package looks beautiful. And by the way, it's available for purchase. This entire vault, which includes all the products that I'm about to show you, will be available for $250. Kind of a lot, but if you're a Game of Thrones fan, if you love Urban Decay, then perhaps it's worth it. Let's see what's inside. First and foremost, we have the eyeshadow palette, and this one is a 3D pop-up palette with a throne, with a huge mirror. Lannister, Targaryen, Baratheon, Stark, Tyrell, they're all just spokes on a wheel. This one's on top. Guys, I am so beside myself. Don't mind me, I will be getting into character in this video. Ooh. 20 shades, $65. We've got 4 different color families here, or shall I say color houses. We have the House Targaryen over here, jewel tone shimmers. We have House Lannister, regal metallic mattes and shimmers. We have House Stark, smoky mattes and neutral shimmers. And of course we have the White Walkers, which are cool, icy shimmers. The 4 shades that you see here are holographic duochrome type of transformer shades, so you could wear them alone or you can top them on top of any of these shadows. Off the bat, this is beyond promising. This is so up my alley. And I am just tickled. Next in the vault, we have this bottom drawer here, in which we have 4 Vice lipsticks, $19 each. I will be swatching these at the end of the video once I get to the lip part. We also have 4 glide-on pencils. These look gorgeous. The packaging is so cool. It's all kind of glittery and duotone. I love it. I'm living for this. $22 each. Next, we have the Mother of Dragons highlight palette, $36, with 3 shades: Dragon Eggs, Drogon, Viserion. Viserion is the dead one, right? Yeah. And Rhaegal. We also have a Game of Thrones Dracarys lip and cheek stain, $26. And last but not least, this just might be my favorite part outside of the palette. Oh my god, look at these dope brushes. The Arya Stark needle and the Jon Snow long claw brushes. $28 each. Everything will be available on April 14th, just in time for the final season. All of these products will be available at Sephora, Ulta, select Macy's stores, as well as available online at Sephora.com, Ulta.com, Macy's.com, and UrbanDecay.com. I will list and link everything down below for your convenience, as always. So now, without further ado, I need to remove all this makeup and I need to transform myself. If you guys are here strictly for the Urban Decay Game of Thrones products, then here is the time when I begin to use those. Otherwise, you can watch me put on the pale foundation, the wig cap, etc., starting right now. Okay, so before I get to the Urban Decay products, I want to make my skin tone a lot lighter than it actually is. I'm gonna use some primer as I always do. Next, I grabbed a bunch of Tarte's new Foundcealers in the little sample size foundations that were sent to me. Grab some lighter shades to hopefully match Khaleesi's. So starting with some really light Foundcealer, I'm going to basically give myself a new skin tone. Next, I'm gonna use some even lighter concealers. I'm gonna quickly blend all that out. Looking good, boo. So now before I set all that with powder, I kind of want to use this Game of Thrones lip and cheek stain. This one almost has a jelly-like finish. Wow, I'm really into it. And do you see how it just gives the most subtle and believable hint of flush? It's not messing up my foundation underneath. I like you. Okay, so that was just a little cameo appearance. We are gonna go back now and bake my face. I'm gonna go pretty heavy with the powder, and I'm just gonna start setting everything. Boom. My monitor doesn't recognize me. I think you know that I'm about to do my Khaleesi brows. I'm gonna grab my Benefit Foolproof Brow Powder, grab from the tail end. I'm gonna start filling in my brow, making it straighter and also making it darker. Next, I'm gonna take this, the Brow Gal Instant Brow Gel, and I'm gonna brush all of my brow hairs up without trying to ruin my foundation, obviously. I'm actually gonna brush them backwards and then up. Now I'm gonna use my Urban Decay Brow Blade. First the pencil side just to fill in any gaps, because I definitely do see some gaps. And then I'm gonna use the marker side to draw some individual brow hairs, because Khaleesi's brows sure ain't groomed, honey. All right, getting there. So now I'm gonna beat off all of this baking powder. I'm gonna use this little sculpting powder from KEVYN for some contouring. I'm not gonna contour too much, just some areas of interest. I'm gonna blend that out a bit so it doesn't look like a mustache. And I'm also going to contour right here to make my nose bridge a bit more narrow, and just to give myself a bit more shadow under that brow. Also gonna contour just a pinch right here for that drama. Contour right here, just a pinch to make my forehead a little bit more narrow, and slightly under the chin. Thank you, KEVYN. This powder always comes in handy. All right, so now I think it's time for me to put on this wig cap, because honestly, I can no longer take this version of myself. I've got my favorite wig caps with my creepy smile lady right here. Got my 2 wig caps, nude, because my Khaleesi wig is blonde, obviously, and I do not want my dark hair to be showing through. And then I'm gonna put my second wig cap on just to hold everything in place. I'm gonna whip out my Game of Thrones Urban Decay 3D pop-up palette. And I am gonna start creating this Khaleesi approved look. Now, obviously, I also wanna test out all of these shadows, so I'm gonna be using as many colors as I possibly can, and I'm gonna create a look that is my own. I'm gonna need my Jon Snow long claw brush. This is just so cool. Look at the craftsmanship on that. I'm gonna dip into the shade here called House Lannister. Oh! But before I do, I think I need to prime my lids first. Got my Urban Decay primer potion right here. And the reason why I'm using a primer today is because I do think that Urban Decay shadows work better when their primer is used. I'm gonna go ahead and slap it on. Back to House Lannister. Actually gonna use my own mirror for this. This is just a pinch heavy and uncomfortable. Well, this first color is gliding on quite smoothly and quite brilliantly. Just gonna pull it out towards the tail end of my newly drawn on Khaleesi brow. Never mind this crazy harsh contour. You will not see it underneath my wig. This is kind of a really pretty peachy shade. Definitely great for every day. It's a really nice transition shade, and so far I'm really liking it. Next, I want to pick up a bit of this brown on the same brush, and I'm gonna add that to the inner portion right here under the brow, just to intensify the shadow here. I naturally don't have a shadow under my brow. It's actually pretty flat between my tear duct and my brow. So this is going to change my appearance, hopefully in a more Khaleesi-esque direction. The shadow is also pretty pigmented. There's no fallout, and it's gliding on quite smoothly. I'm gonna connect that to that nose contour, and also right here in the center. I'm gonna pick up the same shade and add it right here to the lower lash line. I'm going much lower and much heavier than I normally would, because again, I want to create the illusion of a shadow. I want to have a much more dramatic, almost like a sunken eye look. Everyone from the Game of Thrones looks like they've been through a lot. They look kind of weathered. I'm gonna connect that to that outer corner, bringing it to the outside portion of my lid. Man, these first 2 shadows that I tried are a look in itself though. Also gonna add a little bit of that darkness right here, just to kind of sharpen this edge here. Let's take out Arya Stark's needle brush. Damn, this is so dope. I'm feeling like a White Walker right now. Gonna add that shade right here to the inner corner. There's a bit of fallout with that one, but nothing too crazy. I'm gonna add a bit of this Hard Home Duochrome right on top. Ooh, yes. And I'm glad I did. This is so pretty. The sparkle is pretty serious. Gonna go for some King's Landing. I'm gonna sweep that onto the temple. This is a really nice color as well. I like the fact that it adds some sparkle, but it also has an underlying color, which is nice. I'm gonna pick up a bit of this silver Free Folk, and I'm gonna add a bit of that right here, just because I want to test that color. And now I think I'm ready for the lid colors. I don't know. There's just so much that I could go for right now. Ooh, should I go for the Take the Black, or should I go for the Frozen North? Ooh, this is tough. I think I'm gonna go for this blue here, Frozen North. Oh yeah, I'm glad I did. I know this is really changing this look. I'm only gonna use it sparingly in the outer corner, keeping the middle sort of bare. I am gonna take a moment and appreciate this color. Next, I'm gonna take a really small brush and this purple shade, kind of like a jewel tone shade. I'm gonna start adding that right here just to blend the blue with the brown. I actually think the color compilation is really smart because having this purple is great for mixing the warmer tones with the blues in case you want to combine those two colors in a look. Just gonna keep pulling that out towards the tail end of my brow. So now for the middle portion, I think I want to pick up a little bit of this shade here, Bend the Knee. And I just want to add that to the center, bring together that inner portion and the outer portion, just to kind of marry the two. Can you guys tell I'm a little obsessed with the show? And I will be the first to admit, I am not the type to like a show like Game of Thrones typically. Dragons are just not my thing. However, this show, if you are not already addicted to it like I am, is so much more than just dragons. Yes, it is fantastical, but it's also such a novella. It is such a soap opera that is just a guilty pleasure to the millionth degree. It's so good. So is my eye look, by the way. Wow, it's really coming out. You know what? I'm just gonna dip my fingers into this one as well. Stormborn. I'm gonna add that right here. Just gonna be shining like a dragon egg. Gotta say, all these colors are very unique. They all glide on easily. They blend well into each other. And I think they are just so perfectly representative of the Game of Thrones. These colors look like dragon eggs. These colors look like the White Walkers. It's just themed so right. Just gonna pick up this Bay of Dragons. And I think I'm gonna plop this one straight to the center for some iridescence. All right, gonna go back to this purple shade here and just flick up at the outer portion. Then I'm gonna go back with the Lannister red and just intensify a pinch right here. I really do like this teal color, so I'm gonna go for it. This one's called The Sight. And I'm gonna add that one right here to the inner portion of my lower lash line. I'm gonna blend that with the brown. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna add that on top. Okay, this shadow has a pinch more fallout than the rest. It's mainly sparkles. I am gonna pick up this Take the Black shadow and I'm gonna carefully line my top lash line just to darken this portion and also to lift this outer corner just a bit. I'm gonna put this palette aside, but I do want to test out the couple of colors that I did not dip my brush into, which is this one right here. Ooh. As well as this gorgeous Winterfell, Red Keep. Wow. This here, Casterly Rock. Wow. House Targaryen. I always wondered, is Targaryen an Armenian last name? And last but not least, the Dothraki. Do wish this had some sort of a top to it that didn't include this entire giant box, because I actually think this would be a pretty good travel palette given all the colors. Okay, so now I want to test out all of these 24/7 glide-on pencils. I'm a huge fan of Urban Decay's glide-on pencils, and these are some new shades. First one is Lannister Gold. Boom. Second one is Winterfell Snow. Oh, it's kind of soft. Next we have the Night King. And last we have Dragon Smoke. Wow, this one's really, really pretty. I think Dragon Smoke needs to go on my eye. And let's do a bit of Lannister Gold right here in the waterline. You know what? Let's use a bit of this Winterfell Snow right here in the inner corner. Let's give it a little some. The Night King. What can we do with the Night King? So now I'm gonna look for some appropriate Game of Thrones lashes. I'm gonna apply my mascara and I will be right back. For the lashes, I decided to go with Tarte's Heartbreaker lashes, and I applied some mascara on top just to make them look a little bit less perfect and a little bit more natural. This is what it looks like at this point. I am feeling it. Next, I'm gonna pick up my Mother of Dragons highlighting palette, and I think I wanna do a little bit of all of these colors, starting with the pink, Drogon. Nice. I'm gonna apply that to the apple and flick it back. Next, I'm gonna take a bit of Regal and add that to that contour that I created right on top. I'm gonna add that right here just to test it out. And last but not least, the gold Viserion. And connect with that temple highlight I'm not gonna say these are the most pigmented highlighters I've ever tried from Urban Decay. I think the Naked Cherry highlighters and Kristen Leanne's Urban Decay collection had far superior highlighters, although I will say that the pink is probably my favorite color of all of them. The rest could probably use a little bit more pigment. And now finally for the lips, we have 4 colors. Sansa Stark, which is a sheer. Next we have White Walker, which is a comfort matte. Stunning color. Next we have Daenerys Targaryen, a metallized ruby red sort of color. Last but not least, we have Cersei Lannister, which is another metallized shade. I'm gonna start with this lip and cheek stain. That already looks so pretty. Next, I'm gonna take my beloved Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner, and I'm gonna outline my lip shape, not touching that contour. Next, I'm gonna take the sheer Sansa Stark and dab that to the outer portion of the lip. I'm gonna tap that out. Next, I'm gonna take a bit of Daenerys. I'm gonna start tapping that to the inner portion of the lip, almost like a reverse ombre. I'm gonna go back with the sheer nude and clean up this ombre. And last but not least, add just a smidge of that White Walker to the very center of the lip for almost a bitten, blood-stained kind of feel. One more thing, I'm gonna go back to my KEVYN powder and add a bit more lip contour right to the bottom and straight to the top, but being careful not to make it look like a mustache. Oh yeah, I am 100% feeling this. All right, you guys, it's time for the full transformation and for the verdict on this Game of Thrones x Urban Decay collab collection. You ready? Mother of makeup here. Where are my dragon eggs? Okay, you guys, so here is the look with the Khaleesi wig, with the outfit, with the sash, with the pin, because you know I had to get the pin, and now I'm ready for this verdict. First and foremost, let's talk about this palette. The $65 palette with 20 shades, matte shimmery shades, duochrome toppers in this 3D pop-up palette, in my opinion, is 100% Khaleesi approved. I think the colors in this palette are brilliant. I think they are very representative of the show. A lot of the colors really look like dragon eggs, and they look like the characters and what the characters would wear. So if Khaleesi was a makeup girl, this is a palette that she would use, and this is what I imagine is the look that she would come up with this palette. For $65, I think this is one of Urban Decay's best palettes. That's saying a lot coming from me, Maryam, because I am a big fan of Urban Decay and I love their Naked series. I love their palettes, but this one just speaks to me. I'm also a huge fan of these two adorable sword eyeshadow brushes. If you're a collector, if you are a lover of makeup or of Urban Decay or of Game of Thrones, gotta get your hands on these. These are just too cute. You might as well get yourself 2 pairs, one to use and one to just display somewhere, because they are just so awesome. That said, I do think that the colors and the quality of the highlighters in this Mother of Dragons highlight palette could be amped up a notch. I don't really think these are very pigmented. They are okay. I would say a 6 to 6.5 on a scale of 1 to 10, but still a cool little product to have if you are a fan. When it comes to these lipsticks, I gotta say I'm not a huge fan of the metallized formulas. I don't think they're very wearable, and I don't really see an occasion outside of a Game of Thrones inspired look that I would wear these lipsticks to. However, I am a big fan of this dark White Walker Comfort Matte. I think this is the best lipstick of the bunch, and I'm gonna continue using it. Sansa Stark is also a really pretty color. I do wish it was a little bit more opaque, not as sheer as it is, but for the purpose of today's video, I was able to pull off a lip look out of this collection. I do wish there were a couple more colors. I do want a good opaque nude. I think that would just wrap up this collection nicely. Oh, almost forgot to mention this lip and cheek stain. I'm a huge fan of this. I think this is awesome. I think it gets the job done. I would wear this not just for a Khaleesi inspired look, but for every day, just to brighten up my look, to brighten up my cheek or my lip. That said, I think you guys get the idea. If I had to choose one product from the vault to recommend to you guys to try and to buy, it would definitely by far be the eyeshadow palette. This is my favorite product of all of these. It's a good one. This is a keeper. My only complaint is that I wish this palette came with a little something more travel friendly to cover all of these eyeshadows. So that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, this full-on Game of Thrones Urban Decay Khaleesi style, different kind of review. I am the mother of dragons. Ooh, okay. Joe, why would you do that to me? Well, that looks sickly. Next, next, next. Oh my god, I'm scared. When my dragons are grown, we will take back what was stolen from me and destroy those who wronged me. Oh, Bowie's not feeling this costume. All men must die, but we are not men. I will take what is mine with fire and blood. No one will take my dragons. And I will see you guys in my next video. Let me know down below what you want to see next. Leave me your comments, questions down below. Check out some of my other videos. More Urban Decay videos, more reviews, more Team Truth style reviews. You know how we do. I will see you guys very soon. Mwah.